The nationwide protests in Nigeria have now entered the third day. This is as protesters in many states are expected to take to the streets despite security agencies' crackdown. While the protests have been relatively peaceful in some parts of the country, protesters continue to demand good governance despite security agencies' provocation. Violence was recorded in some states, particularly in the north, where some demonstrators have resorted to looting businesses, government buildings, and others, forcing some state governors to declare curfews. Protests have, however, not been held in southeastern states. Arise senior correspondent Tokunbo Oyetunji has been on the streets of Lagos feeling the pulse of protesters while they express their grievances in a peaceful exercise. Tokunbo joins us now for Situation Report. Hello, Tokunbo. Tell us what the situation has been like where you are.
Thank you very much, Omobola, for joining us here at the Gani Fawehinmi Park in Ojota. It's been a very bright day. The sun shining very bright. Necessitating my use of my sunglasses, and this is just the scene right behind me here. You can see the protesters maintaining their usual spot by the roadside, like I reported from here earlier in the day. They have been there restricted to that particular point, but not without them insisting that they want to move around. So they've been moving up and down the road, actually trying to make some chants. And you can see the police personnel around. In fact, some were joking that the members of the police personnel that have been here are probably more than those who are protesting here. But the authorities have said that is because they want to ensure that everything is okay here. I have the #1 police officer in Lagos, Mr. Adegoke Fayoade, who is been here all day. He was here yesterday, like I reported, alongside the protesters to ensure that everything goes smooth. Today has been the same. Mr. Fayoade, join us on this live telecast. Thank you very much, sir, for allowing us to talk to you. On these days, day 3 of these protests in Ojota, and this is the situation here. You've been monitoring things personally. What do you want to tell us? Because there, continues to be this apprehension by some of the protesters that they are still subjected to. That there are some people who are still insisting that they don't want to see them protesting. They want to that. There is a threat of attack on them. What do you have to say about that, Mr. Commissioner?
Well, you've been here with us. I don't think there's any form of threat of attack since yesterday. That's why I'm here. That's why you have this number of officers around. So we are not going to allow any attack, and it has been largely peaceful, and they have been cooperating. So we think we will be able to go along like this until the call of the protest.
No doubt some leaders or the leadership of the protesters here that we have spoken with, in fact some of them addressing the crowd earlier in the day, have commended your leadership. But yesterday, before you came and eventually you addressed the matter, there was a group of suspicious looking people that we had seen earlier, the day before, threatening, saying that they didn't want any protest around here. And in fact, there was information that they were all lining across the streets around here with canes and all that, whips, to actually whip the protesters. But you're able to sort that out. Has there been any form of arrest by the police on whether hoodlums or any unruly person around?
No, we have not arrested anybody. The people they identify as men that wanted to attack them, they line up on the other side of the street. I think they were just onlookers. But when we saw that their presence is acting as a kind of threat to the protesters, we politely asked them to leave. And they have not been around since morning.
And we have seen situations between your men on ground here and the protesters where, I mean, I must give that to you, because yesterday I listened to you when you were engaging with the leadership, that they actually wanted to protest to Alausa, to report what they said was a threat to their lives by those you just described as onlookers. That you stopped them, you persuaded them, and they agreed with you that they won't go again. But this is the park where they were supposed to be restricted to, yes. And they said they were not going in there, and you agreed with them that okay, if they won't go there, just be restricted to this side of the road.
Yes.
But once in a while, we see them moving from one point or the other, and that at times constitutes some kind of issue for your men. How is that? Do you still agree with them that they can move around from one point of the road to the other?
As long as they are within limits of the park, I think they can move from one end to the other. Once they're having their fun and they are doing their protests,
but not beyond,
peacefully, not beyond the confine of this park.
Because I saw your men just right
not beyond the confine. The moment they are going beyond the confine of this park, they are contradicting or violating the order of the court that they should be restricted here.
And I'll still take you back to that yesterday engagement with some of their leaders. There was one of them who was so concerned about what he called the harassment or brutalization of some of their members, and you said the issue will be handled. Do you have any update for them on that particular concern that they raised?
I found out whether and if any of their members have been brutalized, and I've been able to address that. And those of them they even alleged were arrested, maybe found blocking the road. After the protest was over, they were found blocking the highway, and they were arrested. But immediately when they raised issues that they are their men, I ordered them to be released.
We don't know when this will end. They said 10 days initially, but some of them are saying they may extend beyond that. How long more is the police willing to be on the street with these protesters?
Well, I don't think it should even last for 10 days. They have been able to send their message to Nigerians and the government. So what would they be doing for more than 10 days or even up to 10 days? If they want to prolong it beyond 10 days, then it means they are focusing on other areas, and which we will not be in support of, because by the time they allow it to extend beyond the normal period they give, some elements might want to hijack it, and we don't want the hijack. We don't want the peace of Lagos to be affected in any way.
Or there will be continuous engagement with the leadership? There
will be continuous engagement. We continue to engage them, and I believe the government will also engage their leadership, and I look forward to this protest being called off anytime.
Mr. Fayode, thank you very much for allowing us to talk to you. Thank you very much, sir.
Yes.
That's the top cop in Lagos, Mr. Adegoke Fayode, talking to us on the situation so far.
Thank you, Tokunbo.
My dear lady anchor in the studio.
Thank you for the update. Thank you for the update, Tokunbo. And I'm wondering, the interesting turn of events there, where we have more police and security agents, more than even the protesters themselves. Do we even have protesters on ground, and what are they saying?
If Ojo, the cameraman, can just pan beyond, can close up, on the point where the protesters have been standing, you see the protesters. But like I referenced earlier in my talk to you, we've noticed that too, and the response of the police authorities to this is that it really does not matter. All that matters to them is that everything goes on smoothly around here, and there is no infiltration whatsoever. All is just to give an adequate security coverage to not just the protesters, but the entire vicinity. And you listen to the police commissioner actually equally talk about the fact that they don't want to preempt any, they don't want to take anything for granted. They don't want any eventuality.
Yes,
they don't want to be caught unawares. That's why they've deployed this massively.
I heard him say the protest does not need to continue till day 10. Do you think that the protesters are willing to abide by that?
Well, like I'd reported much earlier today, even yesterday, from the initial plan was that this would go on for 10 days, and we started counting the days. This day 3, and we're thinking by probably next weekend the 10-day count should be we should be done with it, and everybody should go back to their respective homes. But the new information that we're getting from some of the leaders of the protest now is that they now want the president to personally address the nation, explaining to them I mean, the protesters, the steps that is taken to address some of the challenges that they have identified that, that have pushed them to the street in the first place. So that if they don't get that explanation from the president, they may have to remain on the street beyond the initial 10 days that this was slated for.
All right, thank you so much for keeping your ears to the ground for us and bringing us up to speed on the events going on right there at Ojota. Tokunbo Oyetunji, Arise News senior correspondent.